a nerdy deep dive into ADHD and anxiety. Picture this. You sit down for one email. Your heart's racing, leg bouncing like it's got Wi-Fi, and your brain's drafting apology texts for things you haven't even done. Half an hour later, that email's still blank, your anxiety meter's at an 8, and you're wondering, is this ADHD, anxiety, or both? If that feels like your weekly Tuesday, stick around. We're unpacking why these two party crashers love showing up together and what you can actually do. The overlap isn't just bad luck. It's no coincidence that up to 50% of adults with ADHD also meet anxiety disorder criteria. This isn't just bad luck, it's a neurobiological overlap. Both conditions often ride the same dopamine and serotonin highway, so when traffic jams, symptoms honk at each other. ADHD brings impulsivity and distraction, anxiety brings rumination and dread. Put them together, and you get a mind that can't focus because it's both racing and worrying. Genetics loads the gun. ADHD's heritability sits around 70 to 90%, but environment pulls the trigger. The result? A limbic circuit brilliant at sounding false alarms, yet always forgetting its keys. Spot the difference. Restlessness shows up on both resumes, so how do you tell them apart? Ask what the engine is running on. ADHD restlessness feels like an internal motor that won't idle. You jiggle, doodle, blurt. Anxiety restlessness, though, is usually future-focused. What if I bomb? What if they hate me? Attention problems differ too. ADHD and attention is inconsistent. You can hyperfocus when you love a task, but have zero grip when you don't. Anxiety-driven concentration is worry-laced. Your brain keeps tab switching to threat assessment. Quick self-check. If the room goes silent and you suddenly remember the stove, that's probably anxiety. If you remember the stove because you saw a squirrel, that's more ADHD. Brain science without jargon. Inside your brain, two main networks misbehave. The default mode network, think your brain's screensaver, won't shut up in anxiety, replaying worst-case scenarios. While the executive network, which should be saying, let's prioritize, is often underpowered in ADHD. Neurotransmitter-wise, dopamine transporter density can be lower in both conditions, making reward signals feel like weak Wi-Fi. Serotonin, that emotional volume knob, often runs low too, turning up background hums of dread. Essentially, you've got a race car engine trying to stop with bicycle brakes. If this is already sparking some aha moments, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm we're solving real problems here. And definitely stick around. Next, I'm handing you 3 evidence-backed moves you can try tonight. 3 tools you can use tonight. Name it to tame it, pause. When those internal browser tabs explode, silently label what's happening. This is anxiety, or that's ADHD chatter. Research shows affect labeling can calm the amygdala within seconds, buying your prefrontal cortex precious time. 4-6-8 breath with cognitive anchor. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 6, then exhale for 8, picturing a green check mark. That extended exhale shifts your nervous system toward a calmer, parasympathetic state, and the visual anchor gives your ADHD mind a toy to hold. Just 3 cycles can cut heart rate variability spikes by 20%. Task sandwich. Take an anxiety-provoking task, split it into tiny micro steps, and bookend it with rewarding stimuli. A quick song clip, a stretch, maybe a scented candle. Dopamine hits at the start and finish help your ADHD brain lock in, while those tiny steps keep anxiety from snowballing. When to call in bigger guns. If self-talk tools feel like bringing a pool noodle to a gunfight, it's time to consider layered treatment. Stimulants can boost dopamine, but might amplify jitters. Starting with a long-acting formulation and titrating slowly helps manage that risk. SSRIs or SNRIs calm anxiety and can indirectly improve attention by reducing those worry loops. Combining these is common and generally safe under professional supervision. Therapy-wise, CBT tailored for ADHD adds behavioral activation. Think implementation intentions, like, if it's 3 p.m., then I open the report. Mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, just 8 weeks, can thicken interior cingulate gray matter, sharpening both focus and emotional regulation. Lifestyle multipliers. Exercise is probably the closest thing we have to a poly pill. Just 20 minutes of moderate cardio can raise dopamine and serotonin for about 90 minutes, sometimes even outperforming low-dose stimulants for single-session focus. Omega-3s, specifically 1.2 grams of combined EPA and DHA daily, can reduce anxiety scores by 15 to 20% and help smooth out ADHD response variability. Sleep hygiene is absolutely non-negotiable. Every lost hour below 7 equates to a 0.08% drop in working memory accuracy, which feels like a thick mental fog the next day. And yes, please cut that 4th espresso. Caffeine's half-life averages 5 hours, so that 4 p.m. cup is still partying at midnight, often masquerading as insomnia-fueled anxiety. So this storm isn't some personal failure. It's predictable circuitry. ADHD supplies the lightning, anxiety provides the thunder. But once you understand the weather pattern, you can pack an umbrella, or maybe even dance in the rain. Try the name it to tame it trick, breathe like you truly mean it, and sandwich the scary stuff between quick wins. If you need more backup, remember, meds and therapy are legitimate force multipliers. Drop a comment below telling us which tool you're road testing today. Share this with that perpetually overwhelmed friend, and remember, understanding the chaos is the first step to turning down the volume. You've got this, and science genuinely has your back. This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice.